Hi, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What do you hate?
CTEs.
You hate CTEs. I don't know what CTE stands for.
Repeated brain trauma, generally in like a sports sense. Like, let's say like someone's like dressed up as like a mascot and hits you with a mace, and then it changes like the direction of your career. I hate that shit.
What do you hate?
CTEs? What's
I don't.
happening here?
What's CTEs? I don't know what CTEs
Oh,
are.
I finally get what's happening. I'm so dumb. I'm the dumbest human. Here's the problem, is the idea of you doing a sport, it never even occurred to me. The idea that you would possibly have been, the idea that you've ever hit into anything,
Yeah.
other than doing that thing where Homer is such a jerk because he keeps headbutting people, you doing that to one of your friends when referenced to that episode.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm a fucking idiot, and we watched him.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football, football, football.
Boy, darkest episode of the Powerpuff Girls I've seen in a while.
I get it. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Also, I had the moment in the beginning before, like, the lead guy was on, before I knew who was in this movie. They were like, maybe not before, it doesn't matter. There's a football thing girl. This reminds me of Last Action Hero. Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
And I went, like, oh wait, that's a Wayans, isn't it? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fucking weird that there's like two kind of death on the field dramatic football movies, both starring Wayans.
I mean, that's a great movie. That's so much fun. That bit in that movie of Damon Wayans talking about becoming addicted to drugs, I thought about a lot during this movie.
Yes. And then I think in that movie, like one of the football players like puts a gun in his mouth that blows his brains out like during a play.
Well, yeah, the famous opening scene is, and I believe
that's
it's
it,
Billy
right?
Blanks. Yeah, he's running down the field and he pulls out a gun and starts shooting people.
Yes. And then, of course, the scene where Marlon Wayans is like putting a gun in his mouth. Like, this is somewhat weird.
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans is Damon's like nephew, maybe?
No, they're all brothers. They're all the original clan.
Marlon is really the same generation. Wow,
He's
okay.
I believe he was the youngest, or if not like close to the youngest, because he and
Got it.
Sean, who was DJ SW1 on In Living Color, they had a
Yes.
show on the UPN together. Beyond their work in
Wow.
doing the Scary Movie movies and
Yeah.
Don't Be a Menace While Sipping Your Juice in the Hood.
I just had assumed they were like the next, because there are like, their kids are in stuff, like Keenan's kids and stuff.
Yeah. Family of performers.
Yeah, I mean, good on them. The other thing, and on coming into this pretty blank, I knew it was an A24 thing, and I knew it was football related. Never in my life would I think, hey, Alex, guess two people that are in this movie. You could give me the rest of eternity before I landed on Tim Heidecker and Jim Jeffries, the
Yeah.
Australian stand-up comic, who, as far as I know, has never been in a movie. I'm sure he has, but
Yeah, that took me a second because I was too busy trying to figure out that guy's name. So I'm like, oh, it's that guy, the Australian guy. What's his name?
so when he first, like, not even got big, he started a podcast, and, like, I don't know how I found it, because he wasn't remotely popular yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I watched him rise, and I was like, yeah, I'm on your team. And then he got, like, weird, and I think he got in, like, the Rogan sphere, and, like, I kind of, like, kind of fell off on him or whatever, but I still have, like, this, like, residual, like, yeah, I was there when you started. Of course I wasn't. I was just listening to a fucking podcast.
Right, yeah.
You were popular enough in Australia to make it to America and sort of show, but still, in my head, I was like, yeah, I was on the ground floor with you, buddy.
Yeah, Tim Heidecker wasn't too much of a surprise, simply because this is a Monkey Paw Productions. This is a Jordan Peele produced thing, and he was in Us. It wasn't expected, but it was one of those like, oh, I wonder if that's the connection.
I didn't know anything about this movie, and I was very pleasantly surprised, especially given this lead guy is, I don't know him from fuck all, so I looked at his career, and he is very new to the game. Like, he's shiny, brand new, and I think for what he was given, he performed adequately.
Sure.
Given his youth and his, there's not a lot, for him being the main character, you're not asking a ton from him performance-wise.
Nope. Yeah, there is not much to that guy at all. I didn't really like this movie. It's beautiful. I think it's very pretty. I think it has a lot of neat ideas that it just doesn't explore fully. It's too excited to talk about how much it hates football without ever like focusing on one element of it. In ways that I thought like, well, this is kind of interesting. We're going on this road, and then they divert and go to something else. And if it just had a little bit more focus, I might have liked it more. And the ending, the last bit is dumb as all hell. Like it's pretty if you want to have it on and watch it, but yeah, it didn't really do much for me.
Yeah, so the reason I liked it is I think the reason you don't like it, because I thought that end was amazing. And
Yeah.
I think the I don't think they got the tone perfect, but like I was picking up on a much more campy, unserious tone in this, which I was really vibing with. Like the fact that like it's like the person that attacks our main character is like in like a shiny, like tasseled, gritty costume with like a big exaggerated sombrero hat.
Yeah,
It's so fucking stupid. And like, oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, this is the vibe I'm at.
well, see, that's the thing. I think it was having trouble finding that vibe because they'd throw in all these like stupid jokes at times that didn't really mesh with anything else. Felt like the mood they were going for. The way it was shot, it was throwing me off the beginning. Is this movie? The director of the movie, Justin Tipping, the cinematographer Kira Kelly, like makes some beautiful compositions. But this is an example of like magazine spread horror. Like I'd put this in there or Neon Demon. I think a lot of the American Horror Story stuff kind of goes with that. The Substance, which I think this movie would make a decent double feature with. I mean, there's no shortage of movies about what would you give up to become a superstar, particularly in the horror genre. You got stuff like Devil's Advocate or Black Swan, that kind of stuff. I think it was so focused on that, like the fact that it was so nice looking and it looked and felt like a Nike commercial. I was really struggling with that at the beginning, even though that's kind of the point. But I had this sort of existential crisis about this sort of Ouroboros of commercials doing that to try to look more cinematic, and now cinema is borrowing from commercials and that kind of thing, and that I just hate that aesthetic in general, because part of my job is doing stuff like that, and I hate it. So I think whenever it kind of dove too far into doing those like sports montages, it took me out of them. It didn't work in the movie as well as I think they meant it to. It always kind of took me out of it because it just kind of felt like, yeah, we understand this. Can we get on with it now? Because it's not a long movie. It's only like an hour 36, but there were just times where it felt a little bit too kinetic, and then long and slow pans, almost like a Panos Cosmatos kind of feeling. That
I get.
It didn't always work for me.
I get your point. I think I disagree. I thought the long kind of parts that you're talking about, like the long slow pans, to me that felt like those fancy Dan commercials. Like a De Beers or something, where it's really slow,
a watch commercial or something. Yeah,
yeah,
high end fashion.
Yeah, like when they showed his Amazing Bowl trophy, because they can't use NFL terms. Like it's just in this glass, like close shit. It's like the lighting. It's like this perfect like ad lighting. In my reading, this is like a little campy and like kind of like commercially. I was like, oh, I kind of like what's this is going. Like I'm not even fully defending because I don't think they got the tone right. I was just kind of like,
yeah,
I vibed with that a little bit more than you were, because I think they needed to go a little. There needed to be more weird, gritty monsters and weird ladies hiding in saunas for me to really pull off the rest of the.
That's part of it too. We can get in the fan stuff later, but it's just like some of that. Like I think the spectacle overtook what they were trying to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think there were a lot of points that kind of got lost into that. And honestly, it's weird to watch a horror movie and go, I bet Michael Bay could have just made a feast of this.
Oof.
I would like to see Michael Bay's him. Like it would be scary and awful in ways that he probably didn't mean. Like he would have been like, this is the funniest thing I've ever read. This is awesome. And it would, kind of like Pain and Gain, where it's just, you're like, this is so awful that you think this is good, but I would still love to see it.
Yeah. In the alternate universe, or like 20 years from now when AI is much better, or, assuming we're not in a smoldering wreck chugging iodine, have the AI be like, hey, what would happen if Michael Bay did him?
Yeah, I just think some of that stuff, it just kind of got up its own butt about trying to make it real pretty, which is fine. Like I said, it's beautiful to look at, but I think it undercuts and confuses some of what it's trying to do, because it's trying to have like, it's doing this sort of passing gestures towards like the destruction of black bodies into football and how they're bought and sold by these rich white old guys for nothing, for these insane fans who also glom onto them. But then they all have this personal glory that they're fighting for as well. And even though it's all bullshit and a sham, Marlon Wayans still wants to hold on to it, even though he knows. But it's also about what it takes to get to that level, the kind of mindset you have to get to that level. Those are all interesting little pieces, but I just feel like it can't settle on what it wants to say about any of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. It didn't get the tone and its focus right. I think the kind of sacrificing black bodies for, the I don't know, the guy that owns the Dallas Cowboys. I felt like that's who they were referencing there. They don't know his name, Jerry something. He's just this old
Jerry Jones?
Skeletor looking man. Is that it?
Maybe.
That sounds familiar. I don't know anything about football. Anyway, the point is, I think they either needed to cut that completely or do a more reverent job of like talking about that. Cause like the kind of just lip service it paid was a little, I don't know. It just didn't do a lot for me, but I was like, I see what's happening there. I thought the one kind of white coated guy on the practice squad getting the shit kicked out of him could have been something more. And it's like, oh, maybe you're trying to do, but he didn't quite land it there. Like, that's what I want. I want more like sequin gritties or more, discussion, but like the kind of medium tone they took at times. You're right. It didn't have the right, its voice wasn't decided on.
But even the scenes with him, with our main character, played by Tyreek Withers and Marlon Wayans, I like that. I like their psychological battles that were happening.
Really good chemistry between the two.
Marlon Wayans is good in this. I really liked Marlon Wayans in this. When those scenes were really clicking, it was very enjoyable.
Oh yeah. I think they have good chemistry, and Julia Fox, who plays the aging Lady Gaga that's married to Marlon Wayans, is great. She's doing this, and this is the part of the movie that I liked, and they need more of the kind of Hunger Gamesy part of it. Just she's like Effie Trinket, and like you've got these overly makeup, like everybody's got the fakest fake tits. It's like there's something there that I wish they'd kind of hung more of a hat on. Oh wait, I forgot my other opening before I get to the next point. Just so this entire movie is it's Tyreek Withers. It plays the main character, and just absolutely like tortured. And then at the end has to like cross over to something else. So you could call this Cam Cade's Tortured Crossing.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Oh, audience, I hope you don't get that joke.
Oh, you should. So it's called Cade the Tortured Crossing. It's by Neil Breen, and it's a movie. And I don't know if I can actually say that legally.
Yeah, I think
it is. Yes. So the movie opens with young Cam Cade watching his favorite football team, the San Antonio Saviors. And they are part of the United States Football Federation because they don't have access to the NFL. So it took a while to pick up on whether this is, Canadian league or second string league, or in my head, I read it as flag football until they cut to it. I'm like, oh, this is not flag football. And then like, oh no, they're just not allowed to use the NFL. Marlon Wayans, Isaiah, gets a horrific injury, and like his leg bone, the fibia, shattered and like stuck out of the skin like 6 inches. It is brutal. Cam's father keeps making him rewatch it and saying, this is masculinity. This is when you give up for things. And I was like, oh, that's so gross. And then I remembered when I was a kid, and I don't bring up my childhood much because I want the audience to, not feel sad for me. My dad kept making me rewatch. I think it was Lawrence Taylor broke his leg horribly in an NFL game. And anytime that clip came on, I had to watch it. My dad wasn't even a football guy. It's just for some reason, I think my older brother did too. But for some reason, as a child, I had to watch this man break his leg repeatedly.
See, I have a kind of a similar story, but it's with the Three Stooges, where my dad just kept pointing at Curly and being like, this is what it takes to be a man. Yeah, you have to have your friends wrap you in a rug and then attempt to throw you, but as they swing back, you go flying out of the back. That's what it takes to sacrifice.
Okay, sorry, I was slightly mistaken. It was Lawrence Taylor caused the injury. He shattered Joe Theismann's right leg during a Monday Night Football game in 1985, snapping both the tibia and fibula. Yes, very, very bad, and not a pleasant clip to watch. So anybody out there, have fun.
Yeah, enjoy.
If you like, repeatedly.
I was honestly expecting this movie to have more body horror than it did. The segments with that were pretty good, and repeatedly there'll be these like infrared or almost X-ray views of people getting hurt.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, I actually kind of like them. Maybe overdone, but it didn't bother me. It was fine. I was kind of just giving myself over to the visuals because the story wasn't getting me as much. But I think part of my problem with this, and I know it's kind of baked into the movie as well, but it's just from the jump, I'm like, yeah, this is so stupid.
Yeah,
like, why are you doing this at all? Like, this is what it takes. So I recognized that as being the point, that like, telling your kid, this is what it takes to be a man, to sacrifice, and it's just for football. But I do think the movie does do a decent enough job of while it is a game, that like what these people see in it, like you never see them like play it. I mean, other than that clip, you never see them play in an actual game. It's always just them talking about it or training for it or whatever, but like it animates their entire life. So I still think that it sidesteps that critique of mine of being like, football's so stupid. Why should I care about this at all? By being like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's this, what it's doing to these men.
Yeah, it could be any sport or anything you're kind of giving, or this easily could be like turned sideways to be about the military. Like,
right.
It is, all it matters is the body being sacrificed for something stupid, and usually some kind of like evilness behind it.
But it's a little bit harder with football and with a team sport, because as Marlon Wayans will say later, like, this is all on you. If a play goes wrong, it's all on you. You know, you're Tom Brady. It's everything. But no, there's a whole team there of guys. Where it's a little bit different being like an actor or, a star ballerina or something like that. Like, there's still all eyes on you, but there's other stuff going on to it. And I think that would have been they kind of explored that a little bit in the face smashing thing about leading a team. But
yeah, a little bit. I as much as I like that scene, I think that's the weakest as far as like saying anything. Basically, like, the entire first bit of the movie is him trying to get into the United States Football Federation, and while he's on his way, some guy in if Gritty fucked a disco ball and Macho Man Randy Savage, that's who the person.
And Sturgill Simpson.
Yes, and Sturgill Simpson hits him with a mace or that's a mace, right?
I don't know, a warhammer of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Like a stick with a big ass thing with some stuff on the end of it. Like it's not good. Like a thing that like basically is heavy and you don't want to make contact with your brain.
Okay, yeah. Without giving too much away, or, we've already kind of mainly talked about it, but still, it's like I felt that was fairly inconsistent. Was that thing outside of his head, or was that a thing he was imagining? That never really, like, it was too like, it wasn't a thing where that's a makes you think. That's a thing that didn't make any sense to me.
Why don't we just like drop the spoilers from now on? I know this is a little early in the episode, but like, just because we can talk about this, because I was confused there too. So the scene John and I are talking about is our man Cam is throwing some spiraled hams up, and they look at them spirals, and he's like hitting those upside down U's on a stick where you kick the field post goals, those things. And he's doing great at it. He's like, look at me hitting them with this ball that I can throw. And the ball lands on the ground and is spinning unnaturally. And I literally don't, are they called the field goal posts? Is that the right term?
Yeah.
That sounds really wrong to me.
Goal posts, yeah.
Is it just goal posts?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't like that either. Come up with a better name. But it's wobbling.
It's called football, and you throw it. So, what do you want?
I mean, do they all have feet?
That's true, but so do the basketball players.
Are they having a ball?
No.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what a terrible name. So the goalposts are vibrating, and it focuses in on like a nut of some variety, some kind of fastening as it's vibrating. Then he stands directly behind it, wherein like if it had fallen, it would bonk him on the noggin. And they made it kind of like the geometry of the scene leads you to believe that's what's about to happen. Instead, this Sturgill Simpson disco ball Gritty comes up and smashes him in the head with a flail. There's two things weird here. Is this his visions predate? Thus, we could be in the imaginary world that this didn't happen that way. The field goal post fell on him. One. So that's not answered. And I think it's a question this movie's like daring you to ask. It's not some subtle background thing. Like that is a point in the film, and it's filmed in such a way that you're supposed to look at that goalpost and feel like it's going to fall. Fine. The second thing, the end of the movie, this is why we're doing spoilers. It's revealed that this was a setup so that he could get injured enough for that the Saviors, the Washington Saviors, could get him on the team. That feels not.
Yes.
What? How you can't bash someone's head in with a weapon of war as a plan to make sure he's athletic for you. That's real dumb.
But also that this guy who, man, this football player has been my hero for this particular team, has been my hero. Boy, we got to work out to make sure that he plays for us by injuring him instead of being like, hey, come play for us, the team you've always wanted to play for.
I don't understand.
We'll have to save it to get into it, because all of the ending, the setup is just so stupid.
the thing is, I like that scene in the question of, did he imagine this thing or did the football post fall on him? At the end, when it's revealed it was a plan, I'm like, oh, I don't like that scene anymore. Damn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you took that away. Yeah.
Yeah, because it also just like it had that otherworldly moment of the football just acting all funny. So it just seemed like something supernatural was happening. And, you know, is this a ghost of some kind, or, you know, is this fandom coming for him?
Also, wait, before you get to your next point, I'm looking at the wiki and it says that a figure in a goat costume hits him. Was it not the gritty looking sequin, like kind of ghillie suit?
But did he
disco?
have? Oh yeah, no, it is a goat. It's a goat.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
about a goat.
everything we said about that ridiculous thing is true, but just later in the movie.
Yeah. No. At this point, it's a guy in a goat costume. So yeah, you're going like, well, is it a fan? What is this? And they just never talk about it again.
No, I wonder if it's there's those two fans that wear like kind of goat heads, and that like really pale lady that we meet, like she sneaks in the sauna.
Right. I thought she was wearing footballs they were wearing footballs on their head.
Yeah, you could be right. I couldn't quite pick it out. Every time I was like focusing in on them, something else was happening. I just saw like and there's so much like devil shit in this movie. I think maybe I just went, it's probably like a goat head or something.
Yeah.
Because they are the saviors, so there is a religiosity to their symbolism.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if like they had like Jesus as a mascot. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like Jesus throwing footballs for the cross.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing like the Heisman pose and like pushing someone out of the way.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, there's a hole in his hand.
Yeah. That's how he catches. The football just gets stuck in there and he's able to like one-handed catch.
That's probably why they're all egg-shaped and pointy, is so that Jesus can catch them one-handed. Yeah.
But
that's probably the blood. It's Jesus' blood.
That's absolutely
This is like the same thing from like the Vampire Chronicles, where Lestat drinks Jesus' blood.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That happens. First of all, there are Vampire Chronicles.
I think that's what it's called. Like Interview with the Vampire, they end up making a bunch more movies, and I think they call all of the books the Vampire Chronicles.
Okay, and he drinks.
No, or the Chronicles of the. I think the word Chronicles is in there.
Wouldn't surprise me. But is that he drinks Jesus' blood?
Yeah, like there's like the two demon people that are like the first vampires, and he drinks their blood. That's the Queen of the Damned.
Okay.
Ashoka or something like that. But I think at one point he drinks Jesus' blood.
Sure.
Like maybe through her.
Okay.
I forget. They get really stupid. Like
yeah,
as the books go on, they get real stupid.
That's very like 90s teenage goth. Like.
Oh yeah, and that's when I read them for the most part. Yeah.
But anyway, so he still lives. I mean, and it's all setting up to be pretty interesting, because the doctor is like, as a doctor, you have to take rest. You can't play football. Tyreek Withers asks him, or Cam asks like, yeah, but as a fan, because so like that element of like, I don't care about you. For my entertainment, if you're willing to hurt yourself, that sounds great.
Well, so there is a like. And this is another thing with the movie a little muddied, is that conversation would work better if they're talking about him playing. That conversation about him going to the combine, which is basically like him seeing how fast you can run and what your vertical is. I don't know anything about like head trauma, but like, I don't think running and jumping is going to like make it worse, right? I would assume it'd be don't get hit by guy.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. The last time I had a serious concussion, or was treated for a serious concussion, I should say, they were like, sit in a dark room for like the 24 to 48 hours and like really don't interact with stuff. And apparently that's not the way you treat it. You're supposed to like just do your regular life, but just chill out a bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see like, yeah, don't put yourself under a ton of strain, but it is a little bit different than taking a bunch of, getting tackled a bunch.
That's what every doctor and every social worker I ever dealt with as a kid always said to me. It's just sit in a room in the dark for 48 hours and don't interact with anybody. Something about being a danger to myself and others or something. I don't know. It's some kind of bullshit. CTE, right? Left wing, woke. Oh, yeah. So he gets injured, still has staples in his head, decides to not go to the combine because staples in head. Because of that, he gets invited by Isaiah White.
Well, he gets, he gets invited to sign with his agent, by the way, played by Tim Heidecker. That's why Tim Heidecker's involved.
Yes.
Is his agent. And he is the hot star. When we're first introduced to Cam, he's being interviewed.
Barring the injury,
Yeah. The saviors do call him up and like, we want to possibly sign you. You have to go to this like training with Isaiah White.
Yeah, for like a week in a private like compound. There's a bit of giveaway, and I never catch these things. As much as like in high school, I'd be the guy that pretended he did just so he sounds smarter. But I did catch this one. When his phone is blowing up, when like we're going to have to go to Marlon Wayne's house, his phone starts just blowing up because the word gets out. One of the texts says 1717 Masonic Avenue. And I went, oh, there's going to be some weird Masonic devil shit in this movie. So that's what I caught. And now let me follow up with an Alex point. He screams, "We're going to the fucking league." No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're going to the United States Football Federation. That's not a league. That's a federation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
You know what's a league? National Football League.
National
you know what's not in this
Football
movie? That.
That's a good point.
So, Cinema Sins guy, like make that clicky noise. What do you do? A bell? What's it?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched it in a long time, but yeah, no, good point.
I think I started like 2 of those. But why am I doing this? Like, people put a lot of effort into this. Like,
I saw. Yeah, I remember seeing one and being like, "Oh, it's kind of interesting," and then seeing another one and like, I don't know, one of the points was just so stupid. I'm like, why did you even mention that? And then I started a podcast and I went, oh, that's why.
Yeah, but at least that guy's making money.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, look for John and Alex Hate Stuff on Patreon. So he goes to Marlon Wayne's estate, and it's in the middle of just fucking nowhere, like Arizona. And outside, there's like this group of fans, apparently with football heads on. Like, she looks like just pasty white lady, haggard with like running makeup, just an absolute mess. Like frothing at the window of the rental car that's bringing him there, and it's kind of disturbing. They're like, "Oh, that's just Nancy or whatever." You know, you get used to her. It's like, what are you doing out in the middle of nowhere? And that lady's still here. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's Marjorie. Because same thing. I'm like, oh, well, he's going to the training grounds. No, they're like outside of his place basically. And that's all the fans are out there. She's a super fan and has 2 like war boys with her. This is an interesting concept as well. It's just the insane fans.
And the shape of that house is, I feel like there's theory on it because it looks like it's in some kind of like sigil or something, but also it kind of looks like the thing with which you throw footballs with, the spinny wheel thing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's like, oh, you're putting like, they're not men, they're footballs and they're just being thrown into the,
right.
Like,
yeah. This is some kind of grinder. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know what it was, but the point is very cool exterior, and the inside of that house is amazing. On a like if you wanted to design a house for creepy weird shit to go down in, like that whatever that movie that was that had like the Christmas Society in it, like that's where the Christmas Society would be.
It felt a little overproduced for me, where I'm like, this is where a football player would live. It didn't seem like maybe I'm just being shitty to football players, but it just had this high art aesthetic that I just didn't buy a human being living inside of.
So, what's funny is I took that as he's got too much money aesthetic.
Yeah.
Is I don't think any of that art has anything to do, like, because the art doesn't really match. It's not really in a place where, like, I think it's just he's got millions and he has to spend it on something. He's like, I don't know, I'll buy art.
But just as how like the general sort of lifestyle and aesthetics that your average football player has. It just didn't, it like, even going to like Julia Fox, it just didn't seem like, it seemed like it should be much more garish than it was, I guess. Just based on her, really is what it boils down to.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is like, it's a prison, being famous is a prison kind of thing. And it just seemed like somebody that like has more money than design sense, but also he's obsessed with football. So it's like, it doesn't matter. The point is I've got like the best equipment here. I've got, a hot plunge and a cold plunge and a radiation thing and a hyperbaric chamber and a yada,
all
yada.
That stuff made sense, but just I don't know, just some of like the complete. But it's also just I've never had that much money, so I don't know. I'm just thinking of Redman's Cribs, where he's like, there's a basket of money on the fridge. If you need some, grab some.
Yeah, I haven't had enough that money to like afford to go into a place like that. Mm-hmm. Like literally, I couldn't afford the outfit that would be necessary for me to walk.
And
in.
when he meets Marlon Wayans, when he meets Isaiah is dealing with skins that he's apparently hunted.
Oh yeah, what a fun introduction!
Weird taxidermy stuff, and gives him a whole speech about the way the forward pass was invented, and that it was a way to for Native American teams to get one over on the white dudes. I guess I didn't look into that.
I didn't either. It's an interesting story, one that sounds vaguely familiar to me, but I feel like a lot of things are like that's the explanation. Like people just make up some kind of bullshit about that whole introduction of how it's getting one over on the white man is where it came from, or whatever. Is that we touched on before, where it's like this kind of plot point that doesn't really bear out that much. They said it there, and then it's not brought up again, even though a major plot point of this movie is he's basically owned by white people.
Right. Well, the thing is, it gets boiled down to You know, are you a football player or a mascot? Because it's, you know, the Native Americans invented this and now they're mascots. So are you going to be a man or are you going to be a mascot? And I think that's our problem with a lot of this stuff in general, not just like the movie, but just that like these big interesting things that just gets boiled down to this selfish, you have to achieve, you have to be the best there is. But I mean, it's fitting for these two people, you know, because that's what they're all about. Let me put it this way. That's what Marlon Wayans is all about. Cade, we're told that's what he's about, but there's nothing to this character. He doesn't really react much. He kind of is wooden through most. Like the scene where the football smash face scene is the thing where he's the most like animated. I feel like there he's just kind of like, whoa, that's crazy. And I don't think it's like anything, as you mentioned, like Tarek Withers is fine. There's not much to that character.
Yeah, and I think it's somewhat the point of the character. Not the point, but like I think it's like kind of baked in that he like it is just like kind of rinse and repeat. You're just the guy that's going to be the next guy. Like your personality doesn't matter that much. And the one time he shows personality is when he's somewhat breaking that cycle. But when he goes,
I was just gonna say, I just think that like the movie keeps pushing, just amping it up, and there's no friction between him going, this is crazy, but man, I want this. It's him just going like, well, I guess this is happening now. I'm doing this now.
The first, like, not the first, but one of the main, like, things are a lot darker than it seems moments is they've got a football practice ground inside of the mansion. They're doing passing drills. And, oh, by the way, that football throwing machine apparently is called a jugs machine.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought that's what his wife was called with those Hooters. Hey-o, married with children joke. Mm-hmm.
I also just imagining subscribing to the magazine Jugs and being like, what the hell? This isn't what I wanted at all.
Yeah. I wanted a magazine about throwing footballs and naked busty women. This is bullshit. There's a scene where he's throwing very good passes to these hired players and they're not catching them very well. So the one white guy there gets the jugs machine, which throws a football very, very fast, and he throws it into his face repeatedly, like smashing his nose and blood is going everywhere. His tooth is on the ground. And so what that does is make him continue to throw the ball really well, but now the guys catch it better. And I don't really understand what that scene was supposed to be.
Which is kind of my point about the teammate aspect of it. And I know that Marlon Wayans ends up like yelling at him. It's like, you know, this is supposed to be punishment for you missing a throw. Not doing the throw is this guy gets hit in the face. Who volunteered for it, by the way. Like, he's going to get hit in the face with the ball, like, at like 70 miles an hour or whatever. That no matter what happens, it's all on you. And you have to operate under that kind of pressure. You know, he's getting frustrated with the team and kind of yelling at them. But at no point is that kind of ridiculousness brought up. That like, that was a good thing. That guy dropped it. What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? And I understand, again, if like Marlon Wayans' lesson was, it doesn't matter. It's on you. But if that friction was there more rather than him just like being like, well, I'm stressed out. Because it's clearly these guys are blowing it. There doesn't seem to be, I mean, I don't know football. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with the passes. These guys just aren't catching it. And it's like, well, then what am I supposed to be learning from this? That my teammates suck?
That's what I was wondering is like, do we not know enough about football? Like, was that not where the ball's supposed to go? Like, because it seemed like he threw great and then also threw great. And then one time he threw great kind of like a tenth of a second slower. I don't really
well, and that this guy is suffering, and then that's capped with Cade when Cade finally makes enough throws that this is fine. That like later Cade is like, is that guy is the what's his name? Is he okay? And then Marlon Wayne's like, well, if his what's his name, do you really care? And it's like, okay, so we've crossed this Rubicon already. It just felt like this has already escalated, and he's already sort of accepted this. Now what? That could have been a stepping stone somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like the series of his humanity crumbling away, something like that. But they're just immediately, maybe that's supposed to show that he was always that way, that he's willing to make sacrifices. But it just felt like such a huge leap to make that I'm still supposed to be like, no, I want to know how this guy turns out. And not just like, oh, he's a piece of shit. He just doesn't care that this guy got shot in the face a whole bunch of times and has no qualms about it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there's also, I don't know, I think it's the next day or whatever, like they're doing a football practice thing, and Cam gets so like angry because the guys were hitting him kind of hard that he headbutts a guy and like gives him a bad concussion, and like he's like, I don't know, seizing on the ground or whatever. That's not the way head trauma, like you're still a man with staples in your head and a swollen brain. You in no world should you be headbutting someone. Like, I don't understand the Masonic plan here. Like, I don't understand I get that they're trying to soften him up so he like signs the devil's contract or whatever the fuck it is. He's still a person. He can't keep getting his brain mushed. I guess maybe because, by the way, all this is happening there, and he's getting injections from Jim Jeffries, the doctor. I mean, he doesn't describe what the injections are. It's kind of part of it. So maybe there's enough of the injection in him that.
Well, that's the thing, because it's not really explained what it is. You're like, okay, so is this, because he's kind of having these visions that happen occasionally. It's like, well, all right, well, is this whatever Jim Jeffries gave him? Is this the head trauma causing this stuff to happen? And again, I feel like red herring isn't even the right word for it. I just feel like it's a thing that's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's not really thought through very well. It just kind of is a thing that happens. While all this stuff is happening, by the way, while these people are getting hit in the face, whatever, yeah, Jim Jeffries is just kind of hanging out. And they meet up a couple of times, like personally, and Jim Jeffries sort of bemoans his existence. It was like, I was here to help people, and now I'm just helping these guys. But then, so just leave. I don't know. That felt very flat, or like that felt very hollow, where he's like, oh man, my situation is so terrible. You chose this. And if you want to make it sound like it's a thing that he has to do due to some pact of whatever we find out later, that doesn't read at all. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel bad for you, man. I don't care.
If they had intimated that there's like something more dark and occulty and Satan-y in this movie, like he can't leave, he sold his soul already. If there was if we don't know, but it's intimated, that works better, but it's not. It just seems like, yeah, I just work for this guy.
Yeah.
Like
the money's too good, so whatever.
Yeah, or at least explain why he's stuck there. But yeah, it's a little odd. Because you can see he regrets being there. And I think his performance does somewhat lead to us somewhat understanding that there is something much more deeply disturbing than just, the modern gladiatorial slavery that is the NFL. There is, a deeper thing going on.
Yeah, which he even has a line about that, about how the gladiators in the olden days would make promises to their trainers to get burned and bleed and get super hurt. Why would you promise your trainer that? Who gives a shit about your trainer? I don't know. It just, I think that's part of my whole thing too, is that I couldn't, again, like I said, I was having trouble getting on board with the whole, what we're doing is important. Because that speech didn't make it sound like, it didn't fit into the whole thing of what these two men want are important. They view themselves as gladiators or whatever. It just sort of was trying to underline what it was doing at the end, and that, the destruction of black bodies for the entertainment of these people, while it was in the mode of these psychotic two guys going at each other. And I just feel like those two things conflicted.
Yeah. And also that that overly used modern gladiators thing is very silly. It's just that UFC always talks about that shit too. It's no, it's not. Shut up. You're a highly trained athlete.
Yeah, but that's a better argument to me than football. Football is because UFC, it's you are out there, you have gloves on, but you are fighting each other. This is you're heavily padded and you're running into 5 other guys. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Fighting is a one-on-one thing. The football is it's a whole other stupid sport.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the fighting thing is just more. You can't kick them in the balls. You can't bite. You can't eye gouge. Or it's a very strict rule set of but they're no, we're gladiators. Bitch, you don't have a sword. There's not a tiger jumping at you. You're not a gladiator. You're a very highly trained athlete. I'm not taking anything that shit is hard. I'm not taking anything away from UFC people, but it's not gladiator. It's just there's something I just don't like that manly romanticism. We're gladiators. No, you're not. Shut up.
Oh yeah. So then he beats the shit out of the guy. He ends up tackling him, and then Marlon Wayans is hell yeah. And they are singing and dancing over this guy who's having seizures or whatever underneath them. Again, it's yeah, you've made this point already. You've said I don't care about
over.
It feels like you did this already. There's not a change happening. It's there should have been more complaints about football throwing thing, the smash in the face thing, than this. Because then, this would have been a more acceptable, crossing the bridge of, okay, now I'm in. Now I don't
Cade's
care.
tortured crossing. Yeah.
Cade's tortured crossing.
Yeah. So that night, he goes to the sauna. And if it's not that night, I don't care. Soon after that, he goes to the sauna. And he's sitting there. He's man, do I love Norwegian people. And from under the bench, Marjorie comes. The blonde psychotic lady called Marjorie. I wonder where they got that from.
Looks like Harley Quinn's mom.
Yes. Taylor Green. So
Yes.
he chokes her and doesn't kill her. And then Isaiah comes and lifts her one-handedly and throws her into the wall to death, which kind of cool. Like, not a fan of murdering women, but as far as it goes, it's cool because Isaiah goes like, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" Like, he's so impressed with what he just did. There's a charmingness to that I like.
Well, there was, because she's already said, like, we don't want you, that she doesn't want her guy replaced, and somehow she sneaks into the sauna where they just had there was an interesting scene between them where they're like having a conversation and they're like connecting on a human level, but there's still some weird friction there, just like in how they some weird frisson there is the way they converse with each other, with Marlon Wayans throwing out some weird little jibes when he doesn't need to. That happens, and then she starts like attacking him, and then Cade flips out and starts choking her, but then Marlon Wayans steps in and basically murders her. And the two football boys are there too, and the war boys, and he traps them in the sauna and is like, "I'm just going to sit and watch this. Go do something else." And the guy's like, "Okay," and he does.
Yeah, so what he does is Isaiah's wife. So Isaiah's wife comes up and kind of is like, "Oh, you're going to go? Why don't you?" And she's like putting her tits on him, like, "Oh, you're going to leave? Why don't you? Me and the girls are going to go by the pool." And it's like just the most like Vegas looking fake titted people ever. It's like 1991 Playboy. And Cam, of course, is like, "Wow, this 40-year-old haggard lady. Yeah, I'm going to hit that." And he's like, "I'm going to go and watch them." So these Omaha Sevens are dancing in front of him. Their very fake tits are out. And apparently he's like, "Wow, this is a great time." Gets all drunk and wakes up in the morning alone in bed with Isaiah pointing a gun at him. And he asks, "Did you fuck her?" I feel like for this scene, maybe have some the smallest bit of hint that maybe he fucked one of them. Not he wakes up alone in his room hungover. I guess maybe it's the asexual in me talking, but I feel like you needed a little bit more hint that maybe he's going to do something there.
Or that Marlon Wayans is an insane person. We've already gotten hints of that with the way that he's treated his other staff members and things like that. And now that paranoia or whatever is flipping over there. No, that's just we've just watched him murder someone now. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if this happens now? There just doesn't seem to be any relation to this scene and other scenes. There's just these little vignettes of this would look cool.
Yeah. Here's the saving grace for me is I thought they look cool. And sometimes they're cheesy enough that I like them. Mm. Speaking of cheesy enough that I like them, the part you don't like, and I think my favorite part of this movie happens. Elsie says, "Hey, we got this party going on tonight, secret party with the decrepit crypt keeper owner of the Saviors, all these guys. Basically, look, they're going to offer you a deal. They don't say contract. They say we're going to offer you a deal. It's like, oh, okay, sure, I'll go. And it's like, so they go to like a closed down laundromat or something.
Yeah, it's like an abandoned spirit Halloween.
Yes, and she's like, "Oh, you got to keep your anonymity." And she's like, it's just some, for the rituals. He's like, "Rituals?" It's like, just old white people shit. Which I did enjoy, because that is the excuse for Bohemian Grove and the other Masonic occult rituals that have been slipped out that all the rich white people do go to. And I'm like, "Oh, it's just for fun. They're pretending to sacrifice a child in front of a statue of Moloch. That should be comforting to you." So anyway, they go to the back of this closed down laundromat / spirit Halloween store, and there's a bacchanal happening. There's people dancing. It's great. He's offered the blood of Christ or something as he's drinking this obvious sanguine liquid. He's transubstantiation is happening. Turns out probably his blood. Because at some point we're made aware he's been being injected with Isaiah's blood. He's ripping full of it. And I guess that makes him stronger. We'll find in a second it does.
Yeah, well, there's a thing where he's getting his blood taken because this is an actual thing because you work out so hard or you perform these circumstances where your blood is super oxygenated. And then if you take that again later, it can help you perform better. I don't remember the full thing about it. It was explored a little bit in Better, Faster, Stronger, I think it was called. And it was it's a documentary about steroids and just the weird things athletes do and what's legal and what's not. And it's how it's all very capricious. And
I think that's the thing they actually caught Lance Armstrong.
I think that was the thing.
Blood doping, I think they call it, is where you get more oxygen in your blood that should be.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing about sports. I'm like, oh wait, I think I know one thing.
But yeah, so it's revealed that he's been getting Isaiah's blood, but Isaiah has been getting the blood of the guy before him. And then they were getting the blood of the guy before him, like way, way back. And then again, like that's this interesting idea about like taking it back. They, of course, they never mentioned slavery specifically, but they take it back that like that there will always be this guy and that they're trying to keep this lineage going. Again, the problem with that is there's other players on the team. Like it's not just one guy that wins this game. And I know that, like, again, you can be a star quarterback and do amazing things. And yes, but it just, that element of it never rang true to me, that like, it's all dependent on you, because it's not.
Well, okay, wait. Let me pause this. What if there's like a subsidiary cult that meets out of like a shut down 7-Eleven down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got like a lesser it's got like Baal or like Anubis or something. And they're like, they handle like one wide receiver, and then further down the street, like an old single screen theater that's been shut down since like 1987.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the Star Center.
Yeah.
And they're sell your soul to like, I don't know, like Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, basically what you're describing is the Los Angeles Lakers. And yes, like that would be an interesting thing if like they pulls back and there's these different sects or like different rituals happening for each player in the team to make this powerful super team. That would maybe be a little bit more.
Yeah, and then the same for the coaches. Like coaches have to drink the blood of like, I don't know, John Madden.
yeah.
He's like, you have a big turkey leg and you coat it with John Madden's blood, and that's it. And then like it's just Bill Belichick just doing body shots off a turkey of John Madden's blood.
And then you have to draw that turtle from the Art Institute on a telestrator. That's part of the ritual.
Yeah. That's how football works.
Or whatever.
Love John and Alex.
Yeah.
So they go into the back of this party, and it's a full, it's a satanic kind of ritual thing. Oh, by the way, in the house, back of the ritual house, not the ritual house, the Isaiah's house, there's all sorts of like, occult symbols. Like the door to his screening room is on the back of the door is the sign of the Philosopher's Stone, not Harry Potter, like the actual.
Is that the triangle with the circle inside?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just saw it like, the glitch mob. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big sign of the Philosopher's Stone from like, the non-transphobic ones, like the,
right.
Whatever year that was.
So when we get the reveal about the rituals, whatever, and then it's that Isaiah is in the room because he meets with Isaiah and he's like going to stab him, I guess, or something. But then Isaiah stops him because the thing is one of the central tenets of this movie, or one of the central pieces of drama in this movie, is that Isaiah might come back for a final season, or they might go with this guy. They might go with Cam. So Isaiah lets him know, hey, you've been taking my blood. I have the guys before me blood. This is an ongoing thing. And basically now we have to fight each other to see who's going to be the guy. We have to figure out who's going to be number one.
Ric Flair style, to be the man, you got to be the man. To this. Woo. Yeah.
They fight. Cam ends up winning. Then there's more where he has to make another decision. And we'll get to what that means in a second. But it's like, you've already made the decision. Why are we doing this again? You've already decided that this is important enough to me to potentially kill this other human being. Why is there another step? It just seems like hat on a hat. Because particularly when he's like, well, no. What do you mean, no? You've already done this stuff. It's done.
I think he kills him not out of self-defense, but out of anger, not out of, he's not saying I'm going to kill you because I'm not going to kill you because by killing you, I get to be the best quarterback in the world. He's killing him because he's tortured him for a week. He's got severe CTE. Like he's on edge. Like he's doped up on another man's blood, which who knows if the blood types even match. Like he's in a bad way. I think that's more of a murder of happenstance than a.
I just think it performs the same function as what happens later. You know what I mean? Like,
what happens later is I think he has to choose. He has to sign the paper to say, I'm going to give my soul away by killing people.
Then why do that? Like, I just feel like they're too separate. They're too separated.
Oh yeah. So I think you're right. But I think the decision he makes is essentially like to not be a mascot or whatever. That's like the reveal. And then so anyway, wait, real quick, audience. They ask him to sign a big book, basically sign your soul away. Do you get to be the best quarterback ever?
Well, we should back up and say that when after he beats up Marlon Wayans, but possibly to death, he goes out and there's this like costumed men sitting on thrones, almost like folk horror on a football field.
Yes. It's very Bohemian Grove. Yeah.
And there's Julia Fox with a book, and there's all this presentation of, now is the time, the ritual's complete, you've got to sign this thing.
Thinks about it for a beat. You're like, fuck you. Like, Go fuck yourself. One of the mascot-y dress guys, it's that big dude from earlier during the like there's this guy that keeps waking him up and like forcing him to do things, and like he's like
the trainer, the number one trainer
guy. He tries to like swing a sword at him. Cam ducks it real quick and kills him with this like ceremonial hammer / there's a pointy thing on the other side of the hammer, and he ends up killing the whole room in a fun splatter gore kind of fashion.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. Like he cuts off a guy, like he smashed the guy's head, and like blood is just shooting out for a very long time. He
throws a sword because he's so good at throwing a football that he can throw a sword and it stays like a javelin and throws a sword through someone. And this goes back to this is the tone that, not fully this tone, but this kind of like silly, campy, like over the top mascots thing. It's like, oh, just a little bit more of this through the earlier part of the movie. And it's
if this was a little bit more Brian Yunza, like a very similar kind of, although not specifically about like the, black bodies or whatever, but a similar kind of thing. Society. I highly recommend that because that has this very gonzo ending, but the whole movie's kind of ridiculous. So it kind of matches the tone. But even as like a rug pull, like, oh, we're doing this now. It's like, I'm so disillusioned by what you've shown me already. I can't get as on board with this as I would like to.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's absurd. It's fun. So I was enjoying that. Tim Heidecker is there for some reason as his agent. And it's revealed that, this has been, as we kind of mentioned, this has been a whole setup since his childhood to get him to do this, for him, this character to be him. To be the one. And if you think about that at all, it doesn't make any sense.
It does not at all.
Like
giving him head trauma so he can so he can be on that specific team. There's so much of it that like logically doesn't work at all.
Because no one else would want to draft him because he had a head injury. And it's like, so it's just that we didn't want to spend the money to pay you to do someone else.
They're like the most successful team in history.
Right.
Like they got some cash to rub together.
Which could be an effective bit of satire itself, but that wasn't that wasn't executed very well. It's just because you're too busy going, wait, that doesn't make any sense because he's still injured. He still has a head injury. Yes. After he kills all those guys, what happens to Tim Heidecker?
Okay, so this is part of what I like. So what happens? Tim Heidecker, he's staying alive. Cam's about to kill him. He's like, oh fuck, he's here. Tim Heidecker says he's here. What happened is, like the literal devil that they're signing a contract with showed up because he just got fucked over. All of his like number one white guys just got murdered. And he's blaming it on his number one white guy, Tim Heidecker. So I don't think the devil, like in a lot of stories, can't make direct action on Earth. He has to like do it through like subsidiaries. And the only guy left there to blame is Tim Heidecker. So Tim Heidecker's like, oh dude, you got to kill me. Come on, bro, you fucking kill me. And he's like, Cam's like, no, I will not kill you, sir, because I understand what's happening here. And the devil pulls him into the center of a pentagram, and there's a poof of what we're assuming to be like some kind of sulfuric demonic smoke. And I believe he was sucked to the very bowels of hell by the devil he has signed a contract with.
So then it's not old white guys. It's not.
No, it is. It's old white guys.
No, all those social things don't. Yeah, but all those social things don't matter. There's an unspeakable evil, and I think that's something that irritated me. Like instead of making this like these demonic and all this stuff, rituals or whatever, like a metaphor for this kind of stuff, or like to play along with that or play alongside that, it just goes to the end. No, it's actually like this unspeakable evil that's been controlling everyone this whole time. They're doing it in service to that, rather than like the societal forces that the movie is kind of gesturing towards the whole time. And I think that's a bit of a cheap out that doesn't work.
But I guess like where I differ from you in that is right now, I keep bringing up Bohemian Grove. The white people in charge of our country go to a place where they do a cremation of care ceremony where they, in quotes, fake burn a body and chant to a 20-foot tall owl god. That's happening in our world right now, the rich white people that run this world. To me, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter that like you're channeling an evil or whatever. It's still the rich white people that have decided to do this. It doesn't
I understand that, but I would say the core difference there is that the owl doesn't do anything. If this was all still there and it was this secret cabal and there were religious intonations to it, fine. But as soon as there's this force that's fighting against them for not doing this thing, are they at fault the same way? You know what I mean?
It's because more punished for sucking at your job kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like that it outsources that evil rather than being like it's on you for perpetuating this and then masking this evil in this sort of ceremony or whatever. Like I think there's a way to do both. As
Yeah.
again, like that's been done before. A good example, kind of the same thing I was talking about before, Starry Eyes, which is again a very similar movie to Neon Demon in this, in that it is like it's an actress that's like, how far are you willing to go to sacrifice your humanity or whatever to be this giant star that you want to be? But because it's like it's revealed, it's like, no, it's been this whole big cabal that's been that's these rich white people, and the way that everyone has been, or society at large, you could argue, has been grooming these young black men into doing this and to just destroying their bodies for this phony glory that just makes the white men richer. Like a great bit at the beginning is when they're watching the tape of that play where Marlon Wayans Marlon Wayans gets injured, and there's like the celebration afterwards, and like they interview the owner, and the owner's like, you guys did a great job. But it's like getting all the glory for, the owner's going to say something to us. What did you fucking do?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything. Why are you even here?
Well, yeah, hey, you owned it. That's,
right. But I just think, I think that just lessens the impact of that sort of social statement by that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like, who gives a shit? It's still evil white people. Like one believes that there's a devil behind them, and the other, there actually is one. To me, it's functionally the same thing. I think
some of that is also just that the supernatural stuff never really felt like an actual thing in this. Even his like hallucinations felt more like, is that a hallucination or not? Is he having his hallucination? But then it's just like, oh, I guess there is this giant evil at work here.
I think a little earlier, if it was like somewhat confirmed that it's not just his head trauma, it would carry a little bit more weight. But yeah, you're right. Because like, you could easily just say, oh, it's him having visions. Like, but if he had a vision that came true, like maybe like at the start of the third act,
right?
You're like, oh shit, there actually is something going on here. What's funny is this whole like discussion of like the evil in the background that like kind of shows up. It reminded me of the songwriter in Under the Silver Lake. Who I remember you liking that part. But to me, it's kind of the same, well, not the same thing, but it's like, yeah, there's just a malevolent evil doing weird shit and manipulating us behind the scenes. But it's like, it doesn't matter if it's malevolent evil. It's just,
But I think what the movies are trying to say, and really what largely this speaks to, is just the incoherence of what this movie is trying to say. Because I think they're trying to say two different things, but I just don't fundamentally don't think this movie knows what it's trying to get at. But there are alternate endings. I have found out, because he kills everyone and then walks away, and I guess is fine. I okay. But there was one ending where Marlon Wayans survives and is watching Cam on TV, which indicates playing for the Sabres, which means no, he did sign the contract. And then there was one where he wins for a different team, meaning that he didn't sign the contract. But I prefer the idea that like just the NFL, if we're going to go down the supernatural, there's like, let's say all the demons of hell each run a different team.
Yeah,
that would be something else. So like he goes, he's like, I'm going to call up these guys, and then it's like, Beelzebub, you want to join the team?
Yeah, like, so basically, what you're saying is you would like this movie if it was Space Jam.
Yeah, absolutely.
and the second one, because you say the second one's the good one.
The second one is the best one.
Yeah, because you said you love LeBron's acting.
No, I love IP is what I love. I love that they brought in Clockwork Orange into a children's movie. I think that really
I think that's really great too. Yeah. I'm a big recommend on this movie, even though it is flawed. It doesn't hold together well, but it is 136 minutes, which I know it sounds like faint praise, but in the modern landscape of like kind of elevated, good looking stuff, the fact you can actually tell a story in an hour and a half, I'm so happy for. I don't want to sit through 2 hours of movies unless they're like worth it. This movie is worth an hour and a half. I think it looks great. I enjoyed it. I just I wish they'd done it a little better, because of the possibility of being like a, real solid film. But it's I liked it.
Yeah, it's I'll see what else these people come up with. But it made me interested in that way. I'm not gonna like write them off forever, but just a big miss for me. No thanks.
Yeah. As far as recommendations, real quick, because it's on topic for what we're talking about. We were trying to watch bad movies with my girlfriend, and we ended up watching The Last Vampire on Earth. The vaulted one of the worst movies ever made. What brought to mind here is, one, there's a scene where they throw a football around awkwardly, and like, hi, Mark style, but also, when talking about how old he is, he's asked, did you know Jesus? He says, yeah, I heard him talk a couple times. He had some real cool ideas, or something like that. And that just reminded me of, So anyway, if you want to watch I mean, I'm not saying it's in my top 10 worst movies I've ever watched, but like, boy, it's close. Last Vampire on Earth. It's real bad.
Wow. For me, as I mentioned, after this, I finally sat down and watched The Substance, which overall I enjoyed. It kind of has the sort of opposite what you were just talking about a movie being an hour and 36 minutes, where this one is like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. It's about as subtle as RuPaul driving a fire truck. Like, just, I get it. But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, the length on that was the thing that it's like 220 or something, right? It's long.
It's long, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't fully recommend it, but if you want, like, if you enjoy this movie and like just nonsensical vibes based things, check out Lucio Fulci's Conquest, a 1980s barbarian movie. There was a big, after Quest of Fire did pretty well in the 80s, there was a lot of Italian movies that were like, great, let's just do that. And this movie doesn't make any sense. The story is garbage, but it's got some cool visuals and awesome soundtrack by Goblin and a lot of mist. And
that's fun. Yeah.
So just if you want to just vibe out to something. Goblin is Claudio Simonetti. He did a lot of the great like Dario Argento soundtracks, like for Deep Red and Suspiria. Great synth guy.
Yeah, great name. Yeah. So John, for next episode that we're doing in a fortnight from now, nary a fortnight, I would like to watch. Here are the qualifications, and I would like you to give me the movie. 1, starring a guy.
Okay.
2, starring a guy that probably hangs out with Hideo Kojima.
Ooh, okay.
3, made by Brian Fuller. I can't keep going this bitch.
Solid. Well, I have just the thing for you. It's a movie called Dust Bunny.
Oh, I thought we were going to watch Hannibal. Okay.
No, that's a TV
Dust Bunny
show.
sounds fine too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's with Mads Mikkelsen. It's just came to HBO Max. Brian Fuller, who created Hannibal and Pushing Daisies, if you ever watched that.
One of my favorite shows. One of my favorite first seasons.
Oh, yeah. What's his butt? Was it Lee Pace? I forgot about that. That was his thing. Anyway, a movie called Dust Bunny. Young girl hires a hitman in her apartment building to kill the monster that lives under her bed. Sounds pretty ridiculous. Might be a lot of fun. Brian Fuller does some interesting stuff, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, Brian Fuller's one of those men that, like, I might not like everything he does, but it's always interesting. Like, there are decisions being made. Whether I like those decisions or not, I'm glad they were made in front of me.
Yeah, so we'll be watching that, and you should check it out too, and then you can know what the hell we're talking about.
Indeed. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.